everybody. So, Femi is not here. I'm not Femi. I'm Kevin Czajkowski, professor at University of Toledo, Global Mission Earth. And you may remember Femi. Femi's from Nigeria. He's used to work at the Nigerian Space Agency, and he was on the science working group, so he's been a long-time globe person. And then I convinced him to come to the University of Toledo to work on his PhD. So anyway, he's not here because his wife is going to have their third child any day now. So I'm standing in for him. We'll see what happens. Yes, exactly. Okay, here's our team. So, title, yeah. So we are, Toledo was in totality, and you saw we had pictures from Toledo. So we did a lot of stuff for the solar eclipse, including engaging teachers, but also students directly. And then we have a bunch of undergrads doing research this summer. And then here's our research team. You see Janet. I don't think, Femi didn't include quite everybody, but it's good. So if you're left out, I'm sorry. All right, so you could look at there, the big idea of including students. Now, Femi really has focused on the NASA SEAS solar eclipse students, because that's what he's doing this summer. So I'll go into some depth about that. And those are high school students, and we're working with the University of Texas on that NASA-funded program. We also worked with teachers. We did Globe protocols, worked with Teresa with the libraries. We did students for Kids Club, so with Jessica Taylor. Jessica's somewhere here. 3rd through 5th graders, we had them studying the solar eclipse and then taking observations during the solar eclipse using globe observations and using nature notes. So here we are at the Toledo Zoo. Jody Haney helped out with that. That's why we left people off the slide there. So we had teachers focused on the solar eclipse, but that was last summer. So we did the professional development at the Toledo Zoo. And then those teachers got engaged, and Connie, for instance, back there, took her kids from Detroit down to Ohio. I think he stayed in hotels and stuff, and took observations, did the NASA soundscapes, did all kinds of amazing things. So here's some pictures of people doing stuff. This is actually from 2017. We didn't change the slide. Don't look at it too closely. But some of the things we're trying to do is support students doing projects for the IVSS, the Midwest, and other regional SRSs and other science fairs. So here's just some of the pictures of the data you've already seen for the clouds, air temperature, but we also did the surface temperature. So, it's a not as much used protocol for the solar eclipse because you had to be trained, right? You had to go through the training. You see someone in Mazatlan did it. We had some libraries across the country, and then we had quite a concentration in the Toledo area. All right, so here's more about that internship. This is really interesting to me, engaging these high school students and doing projects. And I will say, and Yitong is here somewhere, who she's a research scientist at the University of Toledo working with us. We just had high schoolers get accepted for a peer-reviewed journal article looking at California wildfires and predicting them, which is really impressive. High schoolers wrote a peer-reviewed journal article and got published, or are getting published, accepted. So anyway, these students, we focus on urban heat island, air quality, and solar eclipse. We have 3 groups working with the University of Texas with these students. And so Femi set up these Google site, a Google Classroom to work with the students. Actually, they're meeting right now, virtually. So Grant, I think, is here also. He's meeting with them, I think, upstairs somewhere. So this summer, they're studying the solar eclipse data from Globe and coming up with research questions and doing projects in a 5-week time period. They meet twice a week with their mentors, Monday, Wednesday, 2 o'clock. And let's see here. I just mentioned that about doing the research projects. Here's the 5-week plan that Femi came up with of how to do the projects. Introducing them to Globe. Everybody's Globe trained now. They all go outside and take observations. We send them infrared thermometers and the MET thermometers that we use for air temperature now, thanks to Jody Haney. So that right now they're finishing up their research projects, and they're going to be presenting soon, next week. All right, so here's an example of the students doing their virtual Zoom meeting. We have Femi there, Grant on the right. Okay, so here's something new the students came up with. One student's from Boston. There was a partial solar eclipse in 2020. He found globe data from 2020 around that solar eclipse. There's been 30 years of data in globe. There's been solar eclipses for 30 years on Earth. What data are available for those solar eclipses? So that's one of the things these students are data mining. I get goosebumps over that. And then Femi wrote a blog on the Globe website for that. And there you go, our contact information. Thanks.